Says going live.
Cool.
Hey, I think we might be live. Are we live? Tell us in the chat if you can see us. This is our first
Oh,
attempt at this.
oh, there it is. Holy shit. Okay.
Yay! Hooray! We
We
did
are.
it. Well, okay, I am gonna repeat what I said just a moment ago when I thought we were live. Uh, Welcome to the first annual RfR online holiday party. We're glad to be here and we're glad that you're here. And we are not at all technologically challenged. Anyway, having said that, thanks for joining us. It's a party. I'm Kara. I'll be your virtual party host along with all of these other fine people, including co-host David Teachout. David, how are you?
I'm doing great. I had to figure out how to I had to mute because I'm getting hearing everybody on the YouTube channel. I'm like, okay, wait. So yeah, thankfully I diagnosed myself very quickly as not being schizophrenic, and it was okay. So we are
Excellent.
good to go.
Outstanding. It's good to have good mental health support with us this evening. So
It
I'm
is,
glad you're
yeah.
here.
Mm.
I'm glad we're here. I'm glad everyone's here. And yeah, like we said, this is our first time doing a live YouTube stream this way. So please bear with us with any technical difficulties. But hey, it's just more realistic this way. It's like you're here with us in our homes. So what are we doing here tonight? Well, let me tell you, we are celebrating the holidays, and we're celebrating together with recovering from religion volunteers and some of the leadership team. And the reason we're here is because the winter holiday season is a time of joy and festivity, but it can also be a difficult time of year, especially for people who are recovering from religion as they navigate family traditions, religious observances, and all kinds of things like that. So tonight we're inviting you all to join us in celebrating some of our favorite secular holiday traditions. So we hope you'll stick around and have a good time with us. And as we get started, we have sort of a poll for the chat. It's just a question that I'm going to ask you, and we hope you'll answer in the chat. And that is, what is your favorite secular holiday tradition? Please let us know, and we'll see if we have any in common or any that we might want to start. And while people are doing that, David, do you want to tell us a little bit about what RFR does?
Absolutely. So as anybody who's been around for longer than 5 minutes, the RfR is about offering basically hope, healing, and support to all of those struggling with issues of doubt and non-belief. And so to do that, we have a lot of services, of which they are one, amazing, and two, growing. We have the helpline, which is the 84. I doubt it. I will share that link there shortly. We also have our support groups at the recoveringfromreligion.org. You can go to the calendar there to see all sorts of support groups that are, sometimes in person, most readily online. It's also, we have a meetup as well. Um, we have the Secular Therapy Project, shout out, of which we are definitely closing in on 1,000 therapists, getting so close to this. In fact, we just had 3 new ones, who applied just this last few days. So it's the holidays. People need therapy, so they're reaching out. Um, and that you can go to seculartherapy.org. We also have the RFRX, which, hey, guess what? You're already there. And in fact, this will be what we're going to be doing going forward as soon as we figure out the bugs. And that's at the YouTube channel that you are currently already logged into. So hey, you're ahead of the game. We have our resources page at recoveringfromreligion.org/resources. Please bear with us during this time of growing pains as we kind of revamp here over the next few weeks that resource page. So if you come across information that maybe doesn't work, or if you have other information, you're like, hey, I think this would be great. Feel free to send it on over via the email there, and I'll be able to take a look at that. As well, if you're simply looking for resources pertaining to, disbelief, atheism, and the similar, then by all means send over a email as well. Happy to share whatever we've got available. We also have then the blog and podcast. Blog is at the medium.com excommunications. And we have our, of course, our podcast, recoverfromreligion.org/podcast. You can also follow us on social media at all of the social medias. And we have the entire link tree there, which we'll share shortly if it isn't already actually posted.
It is
So,
indeed.
so many resources, so many.
Yes. Lots of resources.
A
Please check them out.
plethora of resources.
Plethora of resources.
Plethora.
And
Yes.
they're available year round, not just
Yes.
during the holidays. So check them out and let us now commence to enjoying the festivities, shall we? Okay.
Okay.
So, the first person I want to introduce, who you see here on your screen, is our fabulous executive director, Gail Jordan. Gail, thank you for joining us in your festive costume. Please show it to us and tell us what all you do here.
Thank you. I guess I'm Mrs. Claus for the day.
Yay!
We've joked about the board is the brain of recovering from religion. We've said Daryl Ray is the beating heart of recovering from religion. So I guess that makes me something like the spleen or the
Ooh.
liver or something. I do something here at Recovering from Religion. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. What a fun tradition. We are trying to put this together, so I appreciate everybody being patient. I hope you had a good holiday season and will continue to have a good holiday season. But I'm delighted to be here. Thank you, Kara.
Well, thank you. And you have spoken a few times to us, I know at some of our previous excursions, about the importance of continuing to celebrate and have traditions and rituals, even if you are not religious anymore. And I wondered if you wanted to say a few words about secular holiday traditions.
Sure, sure. It's just exactly that. It's whatever you and your family, whatever you and your community want to make of the holiday. As I look around my home, and we're big Christmas celebrators here, and I use the word Christmas specifically. We have things that are surrounding Christmas. We have a Christmas tree and the lights and the ornaments and a nutcracker collection and lots and lots of Santa imagery. And the kids come home and we have presents and we are not much in the way of singers, but we try. We sometimes have fun activities. We watch movies. We watch Christmas movies at the Christmas season that puts us all in the same place. At my particular house, we do a lot of hot tubbing with red wine. It's a very specific activity. It's a lot of fun, and it's one of the new traditions that we have. But it's these holidays are just what you make it. I don't mean to be cavalier about it because there are some times as we're going through the early stages of our deconstruction when it's a difficult time. Our families make it difficult. The memories that we're detaching from sometimes make it difficult. So I don't want to sound too I I'm sensitive to that. I've been there. Most of us have been there. So if you are having one of those Christmases, understand that you're not alone. A lot of us have been there. A lot of folks are there now. So if that gives you some comfort, I hope that you'll join us in our online communities, in our support groups, in the helpline if you need a little bit of encouragement and love and support. And hear me as I shamelessly steal from the Trevor Project and tell you that it gets better. You'll find what has meaning for you. You'll find what traditions you want to hold on to. You'll find what traditions you want to ditch. Um, and you'll make these holidays not just this season, but the spring season and the fall season and the year round. All the celebrations that used to have meaning to you connected to your faith and religious beliefs will take on new meaning. And you may go through a period of time where it's better for your mental health to separate from them a little bit because they're too attached to your most recent experience. But the good news is you can bring them back when you're ready and in the manner in which you want to bring them back, you can do that.
I love that. I am for it. I love celebrating Christmas in a non-religious way because it's fun and it brings me joy. So, Thank you for giving people permission to continue to enjoy things that they enjoy. I mean, not that we
Sure.
need your permission to enjoy things, but sometimes it's nice to, feel like you
Sure.
have permission.
Sure.
Well, I'm told that also you might have a game for us to play. Is that right?
Sort of a game, sort of a game. It's something that we have done at RFRX from time to time, and it's just for fun. We're not going to do teams, and we're not going to do points, and we're not going to do the full-on competition, but we have a series of trivia questions. And my suggestion to you, just dump them in the chat if you want to. Shout them out loud to the people in your room. See how quickly you can get them. It's just a series of trivia questions. And I won't be, because I'm reading the questions, I won't be looking at the screen. So if you all need to stop me, Kara, you just speak up and I'll stop doing these. Um, the first question, how many ghosts show up in A Christmas Carol? Just put your answer right in
Ooh.
there. The next one,
Maybe give
uh,
it a pause
give
because I
it a
know there's a
second.
little bit of a lag.
Yes.
So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Okay. Yep.
S-
Okay. We're starting to see some
get some
answers
answers.
popping
Sweet.
up.
Sweet.
Okay.
Would any,
Okay.
okay. Do you need the answers? Do we need the answers right away?
We can tell the answers at the end. How many
Okay.
questions do you have?
I got as many as you want. Well, let me go. I figured I'd just go for
Awesome.
about a minute and we'll see how many we can get in there.
Okay, let's
Um,
do it, and then we'll tell the answers at the end, so people
Sweet.
keep your own score.
Okay, that's good. That's right. And we'll
Yeah,
use the honor system.
that's right.
The movie Miracle on 34th Street is based on a real life department store. What is that department store? You can write them, you can tell somebody in your room, whatever you want to do. Ready for the next one?
Yep, let's do it.
In the movie Home Alone, where is the family going when they leave Kevin behind? The family goes on
Ooh.
vacation, they all fly away, and where are they going when they leave Kevin behind?
Ooh, I know this one. This is one of my
Uh-huh.
favorite
Uh-huh.
Christmas movies. It's not my
Good.
favorite Christmas movie, but
I
it's
know which
one of
one
my
is your favorite. We have a
yes.
question about that one in a minute.
Ooh.
Here's the next one. In the show, the How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the old show. I'm not sure about the new show. The old school when the Grinch, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. The Grinch was described with a conjugation of one particular verb. What is it? What are the three forms of the conjugation, past, present, and participle? I guess is what we would call it. How the Grinch is
Ooh.
described.
Ooh, that one's good. I'm gonna have to think
Okay.
about
Do you
that
think
one.
you
We got
know it?
grammar mixed in here too. I'm not sure. I've got a guess, but
Okay.
we'll think about it and we'll see.
Okay. Here's the next one.
Okay.
In Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, what are the name of Scrooge's partners? What are the names of Scrooge's partners?
Oh, I just watched a version of this the other day, and I'm not sure I remember. That's a tough one. I bet somebody's gonna get it though.
I'm
We've
sure
got some
someone's going to get
people
that one.
that are giving us some good answers in the chat, so I'm
Good.
impressed.
Good.
All right, what else we got?
Um, in the movie, in the show, in the book, Christmas Carol, what is the name of Ebenezer Scrooge's clerk? Plays a major role in the whole show. What's the name of the clerk? And I
Ooh.
believe that's the word that they use to reference him in the show, is calling him the clerk.
Yes, I believe so as well. I think I remember this one. All right, I'm like 50-50 on some of these questions.
Y'all are gonna, I'm picking and choosing as I go, so y'all will have to remind me what the questions are because I haven't marked them. Another one,
Great. Yeah, let's do it.
in the movie Elf, what is the first rule in the code of elves?
Ooh, I'm stumped on that one.
Okay, good. Good. We don't need to
Yeah.
have too many of them easy.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot
Like
of people shaking their heads.
like, I was doing
Good.
well at Home Alone, but now it's just going downhill.
Uh-oh,
Yeah.
uh-oh, good. Good, good, good. These are things you need to know for the next trivia we
More,
play.
more Christmas Carol questions, please. My husband just did that show, and I've
Oh, is that
directed it.
right?
I know the show pretty
Good.
well.
You're killing it with the Christmas Carol ones. Okay. Are we ready for the next one?
Yep, let's do it.
Without singing the songs, what did the true love give on the eighth day of Christmas?
So we can't sing it even silently in our heads?
Now, how can I monitor that?
I mean, you said we're on the honor system. I'm not gonna get it anyway, so that's okay. But now we gotta give people time to, or well, if we want people to truly not sing it in their heads, we have to
Sure.
ask the next one quickly before they
Oh,
have time to go
I
through the
know
whole
before that,
song.
so they don't have to sing all the verses of the song. Here's another one about a song. Whose eyes are all aglow on the Christmas song? Remember the Christmas song, Chestnuts? You may have to sing this one to yourself too. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Whose eyes are all aglow?
Oh. Like, do we have to give them a name? Are they
No, you don't have to
named?
have a name. I just need to know in the song whose eyes were all aglow.
Okay, I think I feel like I know that one, but I'm not sure if I'm thinking of it correctly.
Sure. Okay, and we've got the last one, and because I know we're going to try to run through our guests, and I want to give everybody ample time. The last one is a math question,
Ooh.
and you got to do it quickly. How many gifts in total were given on the 12 days of Christmas?
Oh, I think I know this one. Okay.
Now, I've got more, Kara, but I figured that was probably enough to get us started on playing the game or get us
I
through
think
playing the
that's
game.
that's perfect. Now, what do you think? Should we do the answers now or save them for the end and people have to stick around for the rest of the show to hear the
We can do
answers?
that. We can sure do
Okay.
that. We can wait.
Okay. Well, then stay tuned for the answers. Y'all don't let me forget to go over the answers, by the way. Someone remind us.
I have a prop for the uh, the first question. When you wanted to
Ooh.
know how many ghosts there were, do you want to see the prop now, or do you want to wait until we give the answer?
Ooh. I say we see the prop now and let's actually go straight to Rachel, you volunteered yourself to kind of
Oh,
be next up in our party here. So
I did. Okay.
welcome to the party, Rachel.
Thanks.
Tell us who you are and what you do here and then show us your
Uh,
prop.
okay, my name is Rachel, and I am currently the helpline director and a board member. And I do a lot of things. I actually just did a support group earlier today because somebody's wife was having a baby and he couldn't run his own support group and needed help. So it was great. It was really nice. It was nice to do a support group. I haven't done that in a long time. Um, so this is my prop. If you recall, the question was how many ghosts visited Scrooge, and this is, I don't know if you can see it. It's a little glary. This is a little doll of Jacob Marley, because
I
my
love it.
husband played Jacob Marley in in the show just recently. He's been in it many times, and like I said, we directed it together a few years ago. So this may be one that you need to remember because they talk about the ghosts, but also this guy was a ghost as well. So, all right,
Ooh, okay, that's a little clue if anyone
little
needs
clue for
to
you. Little clue
change
for you.
their answer.
Yeah,
So, yeah, that was super cool. I love that. I
yeah,
love
yeah,
those little figurines.
yeah.
So, okay, Rachel, I think you were gonna also share with us not so much an activity, but a tip for de-stressing during the holidays.
That's what I did. I just thought of it right after we logged on today. Had not planned this, and actually, the fact that I am not at all prepared is part of how I de-stress for the holidays. So, many years ago, I mean, I used to do a lot. There are all these traditions, especially in our United States Western Christian society, of all the things you're supposed to do at Christmas, right? You're supposed to, you have to buy gifts, you have to wrap them, you have to plan a meal, you have to cook, you have to bake cookies, you have to send Christmas cards, you have to take pictures, you have to make sure you have the right outfits, and you have to do all of it, go and maybe travel and be with family, and all of these things are expected to do in the holidays, not to mention going to church and maybe being in a church production and singing songs. Maybe you're in a choir. Like we have the Christmas Carol, which is something that our local theater does every other year, and there's a different Christmas show that is different each year. But these are just a lot of things that need to happen. Not to mention, if you're in school, you've got finals about that time. There's just always a lot happening around this time of year, right? And that doesn't even count Thanksgiving, which is only a month before, and New Year's, right? There's just a whole lot. So when I was in my 20s and my kids were little, I basically just burned out. I said, I can't do it. I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I don't have the bandwidth, I cannot do it. So now I'm not saying everyone can do this. Not everyone can do this. But in my situation, I was selfish enough and my family was accommodating enough that I just didn't do anything. I just stopped. I told everyone, I'm not going to buy gifts. Don't buy gifts for me. I'm not buying gifts. I'm not sending Christmas cards. I'm not baking. I'm not cooking. I'm not I'm not doing any of it. Like, I'm just not going to do it. And I showed up. Like, my mom would do this, family affair, and I would show up, and we would get there, and we would, I'd eat turkey and wash dishes, and we'd sing Christmas carols, and that was fine. But I just didn't do any of the things that you stress about. I just did not do it, and I still don't do it. And I still feel a little, I still feel a little guilty if someone will give me a little holiday gift or someone will, do something nice for me, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not. It's not. I just don't do it. I just stopped. So, that's you just have to know that about me. But I don't begrudge people doing it. It's not like I hate Christmas. I don't have a problem with it. And one of the things that I get to do because I don't do all this other stuff is I do get to care a little bit about those few things that are important to me. Like when we do Christmas Carol, a production of it. I can perform in it. I can, help direct it or choreograph it. And I love those Christmas Carol songs. I love to sing them. For those of you who don't know, A Christmas Carol does not have any music in it in the book. It is called A Christmas Carol because it's written as in staves as though it is a carol, but it is not written in verse or anything. It's just he thought of the book as a carol itself. But when we do the show, we always put music in it, and we always use traditional Christmas carols as much as possible. We try to choose songs that were existed during the time when Dickens was writing. Instead of doing modern songs, we tend to do more traditional. A lot of them are very old songs, and I love singing them. They're beautiful. Just don't listen to the words because the words
Fair enough.
often kind of suck, right? But they're beautiful and they're fun to sing. So that's my holiday tip. Not that everyone can do that, obviously, but to the extent that you can let yourself off the hook and just maybe choose not to do all of the things, you know, you can't do everything that's on Pinterest. Like, it's too much. You can't do it. So choose some things that you don't want to do anymore and just maybe do them less or maybe opt out of some of it. It's okay. You can. I give you my permission. You can opt out. It's all right. No one dies. It's all
I
right.
love that. We're getting permission for lots of great
Yes.
things on this
Yes.
holiday episode.
Yes.
Also, there's a question in the chat wondering if the Ghost of Christmas Future sings.
The Ghost of Christmas Future in the actor who plays the Ghost of Christmas Future will sing in the ensemble, but the ghost himself is not given a song. No,
Okay.
that character is not in our production. I suppose you could write it any way you wanted to. Dickens is in the public domain now, so you can literally do whatever you want with that show. But
Ooh,
in
okay.
the way we do it, no, he does not
Awesome.
sing.
Okay. Challenge for next time,
Yeah,
because it's in the future. Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Usually that character is silent. He's often just dressed like death, like the Reaper, and he just points. But sometimes he's given dialogue, but he's not usually given a song.
that would be funny if he burst into song at the very
Yeah,
end.
yeah,
Outstanding. Well, thank you for sharing that. I love that and really good advice. So, okay, we are going to get to hear a lot about, I can already tell, a really wide variety of ways that people celebrate the holidays, and I am loving it. So, I want to bring on Daryl Ray next, the good doctor, our founder and president. Daryl, welcome to the show and tell us about what that is you're wearing.
Well, this is my gala holiday stuff. It's the only thing I ever have that I wear. Otherwise, I
Daryl is
follow
jaded.
Rachel.
No.
I follow Rachel. I don't do anything. I just enjoy not having to do anything. So I was following Rachel before Rachel knew she was being followed. So there you go.
I love it. Daryl did nothing before it was cool for
You know,
Christmas.
I told my wife years ago, back when I was married, I just hate Christmas. I don't like the religion, and even when I was religious, I didn't like it. The only thing I liked was singing carols, and I did enjoy that. And at one point in time, I was a tenor soloist in the local um, city choir for the Messiah. I did love that, except don't like the words, but and David knows what I'm talking about. That it's a huge production with hundreds of people, but outside of that, that's all I've ever done.
Well, speaking of songs, would you, by chance, could we possibly twist your arm into sharing a song with us this evening?
Okay, well, you started twisting my arm an hour ago. That's when I first learned I would be doing this.
I could have sworn we talked about this weeks ago. I don't know what you mean.
Well, my arm is pretty broken. Maybe that's how it got broken. Okay, I don't think I can get the accompaniment. I mean, this is a part of our experiment, everybody. So be a little patient here. I'm going to start this music, and if it doesn't work on your end, then just tell me, and I'll shut it off, and then I'll just sing it a cappella. How's that?
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay. I
Okay.
like it. All right.
Can
Well,
you can you hear that music?
nope.
You can't hear any music, can you?
Nope.
No.
Not at
Okay.
all.
Okay. Then never mind. This is going to be a cappella, and this is an ancient, very old carol that you thought you knew, but now you're going to learn that this was the original. The original. And when I'm finished singing it to you, I'll tell you a little bit more. So that's where we're going here. So, oh, deck us all with Boston Charlie, Walla Walla Wash and Kalamazoo. Norris freezing on the trolley, Swaller Dollar Cauliflower Alligator. Don't we know our cake barrel lullaby, lullaby, Louisville, Lou. Trolley Molly, don't love Harold, Bula Bula, Pensacola, hullabaloo. Bark us all bow wows of folly, Polly Wolly, Cracker, and Tallaloo. Donkey Bonnie brays a carol, Antelope, cantaloupe, loop with you. Honky Dory's Papa Lolly, gagging on the wagon, Willie Folly go through. Charlie's collie barks at Barrow, Hair Scarum, five alarm bungaloo. Dunk us all with bowls of barley, Hinky Dinky Dink and Polly Voo. Chilly Philly's name is Charlie, Charlie Philly, Jolly Chilly View, Baloo. Marcus bow wows of folly, gobble bobble toil and trouble, woof woof woof. 'Tis the season on melancholy. Dibble dabble, scribble scrabble, goof goof goof. Dibble dabble, scribble scrabble, goof goof goof.
Amazing.
All
Uh,
right.
best
I,
holiday
I, I,
song we've heard all night.
Well, it comes.
I can definitively say that I've never experienced the like.
Well, there was a guy named Walt Kelly, in 1954. He was one of the most famous comic strip um, authors, and every newspaper carried the comic strip. So I grew up with this guy, and in 1954 he discovered this was the original version of the song that guys all think of as "Deck the Halls." So it was revealed to him in 1954. Walt Kelly, and Pogo was the name of the comic strip. So if any of you are old enough to remember comic strips, he wrote the comic strip until 1973 when he died. But it was a very big comic strip, and I love watching. He had a famous saying that we all should memorize. It was in one of the comic strips he did. We have met the enemy, and they is us.
Mm.
That is his famous. Anyway, that's the end of my contribution for this evening, Kara.
Well, thank you. That was quite the contribution. Thank you for letting me twist your arm into doing that. We are all the richer for it or something.
Or poorer.
It's all relative.
Yep. Amazing. Okay, you're getting at least one person asking for an encore, so I
Oh,
can't be all bad. That's great. Okay, let us quickly move on to let's see, David Klingy,
Yeah, hello.
board member and tech expert extraordinaire. Uh, Tell us about what you do here and about your holiday tradition or topic that you want to share with us.
Yeah, boy, Daryl, that was something else. Hi, I'm David Klingy. I'm on the board of directors, and I am the co-IT director with along with Bill. And my holiday traditions. Geez, so yeah, I didn't know what the others were going to talk about, and I think this kind of rings true with what others have been saying, Rachel and Gail. But I kind of had my holiday traditions destroyed. Like uh, my house growing up as a child, my father ended up leaving, and those traditions kind of fell apart in my 20s. Um, Both my brother and I kind of glammed on to our wives' families' traditions, and then when my ex-wife left me, that fell apart and got destroyed. Now, I actually remember very distinctly, thinking about my father-in-law and like kind of mourning that loss of that relationship, along with the divorce of my wife and the traditions that I've built up over the years with them. And so, not really wanting to build any traditions by myself, or I kind of was seeking community elsewhere, and I ended up joining the Seattle Men's Chorus, which is one of the Gay and Lesbian Association of Choruses choirs in the United States. I think there's probably about 40 here and several more around the world. But that gave me the unique ability to start performing Christmas music in September, and it did for 3 months of the year. So going from like not really wanting to celebrate Christmas or do anything with Christmas to like now I'm singing Christmas songs for a quarter of the year um, was was quite a bit. But what it ended up morphing into was I it was a huge labor of rehearsal and learning choreography and getting on book for concert and whatnot um, and it was all paid towards getting people into the Christmas spirit. And it was fairly secular. There was a little bit of God and Jesus in there, and there was other holiday traditions. We'd do Kwanzaa songs and we would do Hanukkah songs, but it was mostly revolving around Christmas. But I didn't need to make it personal. It was something that I was doing for other people, and I really kind of enjoyed that. Um, and now I have another wonderful wife. Her family is great, and nobody really expects me to do anything, and so I don't, and I really enjoy it. Um, I acknowledge the solstice, but that's about all that I celebrate anymore, and that's okay.
I think that is perfectly okay. You do not have to celebrate holidays you don't feel like celebrating. And I love that you get to sing whatever you want in September.
And yes, Daryl mentioned the Messiah. It's the "For unto us a child is born" has these 30-second notes in it. It's just awful. It's just the
Yeah,
worst.
it is really bad.
Amazing. Well, thank you for sharing that with us, David. That is another good example of giving people permission to do whatever the hell works for them. So I'm noticing a theme here this evening, and I am loving it. Okay, next on the chopping block is Phil, our other tech expert extraordinaire, who is the only reason we are live streaming right now. It just so happens.
Oh my
Phil,
goodness.
tell us about yourself and your holiday tradition.
Thanks for having me so much. This is so cool. Yeah, this is definitely it was an experiment to see how things would go, and that's how it goes, which makes it fun, in some ways on
Yes.
that side to discover things. So it's awesome. Anyway, I'm Phil, on the board of directors and the IT co-director, and I also head up the RFRX, the post production for our podcast portion. So the video editing, the posting on the YouTube worlds, and all the other kind of stuff. And so help trying to make sure that's moving along. And hopefully, our audio podcast will be following along here shortly as we get that caught up. And now that we've got a good beat on that, so good stuff there.
Yes.
So for me, I mean, kind of I listen to David and Rachel. Like it's for people, and it is good for some people to spend the holiday just doing nothing, being able to relax and anything. But I came from a family that we got together every time. Every Christmas, every Thanksgiving, that kind of thing. It was a big production. We go over grandma's house or one of my aunt's houses, something like that, and really enjoy each other's company. And I know, back in the college days before I came out, in multiple ways, uh, that was one of the things that I worried about losing. That okay, what happens if they learn about me, the real me or whatever else, and then I don't have this anymore, that type of thing. And so you that was always in the back of my mind, and as one of the many reasons that I pushed things off so far that I did. But luckily in my case, it hasn't turned to that. When I did come out, it did not turn into, me having to leave that. However, before I came out, I made sure that I had a circle of friends, a family of sorts that I built myself separately to have that structure so that if I lost this, piece of myself and something that I've grown used to and everything else, that I had a family of my choosing, of people that I loved and cared for, and that I can continue to have those meaningful relationships with and everything else. And so that didn't have to go. And so bottom line of that, to say, this is not even getting into the family tradition yet, but just to say that if that is more your jam and your family is no longer an option, please take the effort to and the time to make the family of your choosing, because we have the family you're born into, and then the family you choose. I know that that's been said quite a bit, but it really is true. It's having that support system there to back you up and make you feel loved and wanted, and that warm and fuzzy feeling that you get when you have those annual traditions like that, if that's your jam. So anyway, so that aside, so my family's tradition, it's actually something that my mom came up with. As a matter of fact, I don't actually remember when it started. It's been eons, and I just don't even remember when she did. But she hosted our Christmas for our family for about 19 years, something like that. Just every single year, it would be at her place. And so, of course, I'm helping to get things together and cooking some things and putting chair, all the hubbub. But at some point during the evening, we would distribute these little pieces of paper. So we would kind of group people up wherever they were in the house, and we would distribute. We kind of talked about it a little bit early in Gail's trivia. It was each paper had one line of the 12 days of Christmas on it. And what we would do is you would, group people together, you split the papers up so that people are, no one is linear in order. Everything is coming from different sides and everything else. And we would have a big hoorah. I mean, we always sang carols and stuff like that, but this one has really turned into one of those big traditions. We just did it just a few days ago. um, and we all run through the 12 days of Christmas, and everyone, when it comes to their part, you sing it at the top of your lungs, and it becomes this huge thing. And my mom gave it to one of her friends and their family did it for the first time and had an absolute blast doing so because it's a simple song that's been around for ages, but when you separate it like that, you get excited to get to your part. And I was the four calling birds this time around, and so I was singing my part quite a bit with my group of folks on that side. And then, of course, when you have the five golden rings, it can't just be a normal, five golden rings. It has to be five golden rings. It is so loud and boisterous and so over the top, and it's just an amazing time for everyone. And even people that don't have never done it before, they catch on very quickly as to what the rhythm is, and like, okay, this is what we're doing. And you have those that mess up because they forget it's their turn to do it or something like that. You have those little things that happen in there, and it's always a fun time. It brings people together a lot, even as an icebreaker, as you kind of just join, because you join with just people that are near you, whether you know them or not, and kind of enjoy yourselves on that side. And so that's been an amazing tradition that I didn't expect it, especially when I was younger, to be as amazing as it was and how exciting that is to do. But it really, at the end, people are just celebrating and we all clap at the end. And it's this whole thing that we did this whole thing together, especially when you get to the 12th day. And so it's an amazing tradition. So if you want to try it in your family, just print out those sheets or have something and split people. But it's best when people are not right in line with each other, where the sound is just coming from different parts of the room each time it's going on. Kind of bouncing around on that side. So it's pretty cool.
I love that so much. I'm imagining your whole family getting super into this.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Like, it's a thing. Like you got to have it. Like you got to have it. And Christmas is just not right without it. It really is.
It's
So
amazing. I always say it's not Christmas until Hans Gruber falls off of a building, but totally different Christmas
Fair.
tradition, I guess.
but
I
awesome. But
love
yeah,
yours.
that's what we do.
That's amazing. I am loving all of the joyfulness and the singing that people here are doing. I wish I wasn't tone deaf. I mean, I still enjoy hearing people sing, but no one wants to hear that
Say
from me.
your tone deafness doesn't mean you can't listen.
Right, right. You just saying, if you did that tradition, be the five golden rings, because at that point it's just allowed. Like
Nobody
it doesn't
cares.
matter what your pitch is at that point. Just get it out there.
I mean, I'm for it. I'll give it a try. I mean, you are underestimating how off key I can get, but I'm here for it.
Nope. That sounds like Kara is signed up to
Yeah,
join with you, Phil, next year.
I'm
This
ready.
is happening. Yeah.
You're welcome, slash, I apologize in advance. But I love this tradition. That's a great one. Thanks for sharing that.
Of
Okay,
course, of
well,
course.
let's go next to Shanna, another of our amazing board members, and also the architect of the fall excursion. And Shanna is not a celebrator of Christmas, but I'm told you may be able to tell us about a fun Christmas adjacent character slash tradition.
Well, first of all, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty faint, but we can
Okay.
hear you a little bit.
Okay. I'll get closer to the speaker. So I don't know if most of you know, but I was born and raised as a Jehovah's Witness, and as a Jehovah's Witness, we do not celebrate anything at all except for the death of Jesus Christ, which is a really somber, stupid celebration. And so when I was younger, I was taught to kind of vilify Christmas. And so when I was in a store in this a small mountain town after Christmas, uh, this sweet old lady came up to me and said, "And what did Santa Claus bring for you?" And I said, "I don't celebrate that. That's pagan." So that's
That's
my
fantastic.
happy holiday story.
I love that so much. I don't celebrate that. That's pagan.
Which it kind of is. I mean, it's just a solstice, winter solstice, which was pretty pagan. But anyway, that wasn't the point, and that was super rude to that poor lady. So Uh, Sherry reminded me of a celebration that I have attended a few times since I've become secular, and it's called Krampus, and probably a lot of you are familiar with that. It's a huge celebration with some friends of ours, and the one of the people is a very good performer, songwriter, guitarist, singer, and he has a new song every year that he sings. And one of the songs that Sherry was able to listen to when she came to visit us was about America. And that was right after Trump was elected for the first time. So it's hard for me to, but I can't sing very well at all, and I can't remember even the cadence of the song. But one of the highlights of that celebration is a sock exchange. And so the more vulgar and the more terrible words and pictures that you can put on your socks, the more wanted they are. So it's kind of like I think they call it a secret Santa, where you're given different numbers, and then each person is chooses a package to unwrap, and then it goes down the line. It could last almost all night because it's super popular. So the socks that say, fuck off, or there was when after Ruth Gator Ginsburg. I can't remember her full name. Bader Ginsburg. After she died, those were the most popular socks because we were trying to commemorate her. Anyway, that's I barely celebrate Christmas at all. We don't even have a Christmas tree up. We've only put it up a couple times. It's a really nice Christmas tree that's pre-lit and really tall, but I think it's messy. So I don't have it in my house because I'm a minimalist. So unfortunately, I don't really have much to say about Christmas, but I'm glad to listen to all of you guys' stories.
Well, I liked your story quite a bit too. I think that one was just as good.
It
So,
was about empowering childhood.
Yeah,
yeah.
that
So, I
was.
mean, it just, yeah, some people get presents, some people tell off old ladies at Target. It's fine. It's all good. Yeah.
That's going to be my new Christmas tradition is just tell off old ladies at Target every.
I love it. I love it. We're all feeling empowered now to do that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you for that. And on that note of empowerment, let's go over to Sherry D'Souza, who is joining us from the, dare I say, tropical environs of Australia tomorrow. So, Sherry, how are you doing over there?
Doing great, doing really well. And yes, it's December, it's summer for us, so our the way we celebrate Christmas is somewhat different. There's a lot of seafood, lots of seafood. Hmm.
Where
Yes.
Really?
can I sign up for this?
This is the first
That's
I'm
really
hearing
the
of this.
main prawns, oysters, like bring it all on. That's the fish markets go absolutely. It is the biggest day of the year is Christmas Eve for the fish markets. It goes crazy. Like they make a million every hour. That's just the Sydney fish markets. That's just crazy.
Is
So
there a
yes,
special way of preparing fish that's traditional for Christmas or just anything seafood?
anything really, anything seafood. I mean, some just will do hams and turkeys as well, but predominantly it's barbecues, picnics, and prawns. But
All right.
again, like Shanna, my experience with Christmas is really quite recent because I too was raised a Jehovah's Witness as well. So um, I can relate to a lot of what Shanna shared. This, in fact, has only been the eighth Christmas that I've celebrated, and I'm still working out all of my traditions. But unlike Shanna, I have really gotten into Christmas in a big way. Like, I'm just over the top. Like, this year, I have got a tree, I've done my stairs, I've got wreaths, I've got decorations everywhere. I've even strung lights across my ceiling and got baubles and ribbons, and like, it's a whole thing. And Cara, if you have got the photo prepared, you can share with everybody what I did to my poor cat. he handled it very well, but yes, all the same.
Yes. I'm trying to pull it up now. I love
Yes.
this photo so much, and I'm gonna see if I can share my screen here so that you all too can enjoy it.
I have it up on my
Yes.
phone if you can't.
Okay,
Okay.
here we go. I'm gonna see what happens when I try to share my screen. And we have a couple of other friends joining us, so great timing. Okay, here is the
Billy.
photo. Can y'all see this?
Yes, that's so wonderful.
I love this.
That
Tell
is
us who
amazing.
this is and the story behind this.
So this is my Abyssinian cat Billy, who is absolutely adorable. He's 4.5, and he is used to harnesses. Like I take him out for a walk, and he can wear clothes no problem. He's just beautiful. But I saw this outfit, and I just couldn't resist. It did also have a hat and a beard, but that was where Billy drew the line. He was like, "No, not doing that." So I didn't push that. But there he is in his
Amazing.
outfit. He's so cute.
I
Adorable.
love this so
That's
much.
amazing.
That is a
I do.
beautiful cat also, aside from the
He is
costume.
gorgeous. Yeah, he's gorgeous. He's a former stud and has bred a few Abyssinian champions. So
I'll
it's
say.
just
Wow.
he's gorgeous. Um,
Love it.
but I do have another rather amusing Christmas story to share if
Please
we
do.
have time. So
Sure.
being that it's only been relatively new for me celebrating Christmas, and I all of my JW family, of
Uh-oh, I think Sherry froze.
it's become a big thing.
Oh, there she is. You're back.
And oh, sorry, I thought my signal has not been fantastic. Sorry about that. It's coming from the other side of the world. Let's just blame that.
We will.
Anyway, so 3 Christmases back, Auntie Bev and I are together and we're opening up our gifts. And Auntie Bev never does one; she does like 5 or 6. I'm 3 presents in, and I open, well, I get unwrap the box, and the box is conspicuously sized about yay big. I peek open the box and have a look inside, and I'm like, oh my God, you did not. You did not. I start laughing hysterically. She is not expecting this reaction. So she's kind of like, what's so funny? I'm like, do you know what this is? She's like, yes. I'm like, no, you don't know what this is. She then says, but I asked Sasha and he said it was okay. And I'm like, hold on a minute. This has been a conversation. You've been, uh, no, I can understand him saying it's okay, but you still don't know what this is. So I hand her the little brochure that's in the box to help illuminate her on what this is.
Um,
That
I
is
what
know,
did
amazing.
I
she
know.
think it
Hold on.
was?
I will explain. I also have the real thing here, right? Okay, this is what she got. So
Nice.
Very
anyway,
strange cacti.
right. So, just to give you another little bit of context that will become relevant, at the time I was suffering from a spinal injury. I had a collapsed disc at C6, C7, and I needed surgery, which I had later. But anyway, so I had a painful neck. This is where this comes from. Anyway, this little manual, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I am going to read 2 paragraphs because you need to understand the joy of Chinglish, of something being translated from Chinese into English, but it's just not. Okay, so enjoy the pleasure of sex climax. People's sensitive area, both on body and in mind, are different. Let's relax to awake your sexual desire deeply to enjoy your own sex life. First, put the first love vibrator on you or your lover's sensitive parts to feel the softly touch of velvet. Then press the buttons to change the speed and vibrations to fire the passion. When the passion is growing higher and higher, you can put the product inside the body to feel a more comfortable feeling to go to the top of happiness. Last paragraph I'll share. It goes on, like it's hysterical. It is hysterical. Here's the last paragraph. 10 functions of super crazy vibration and pulsation are ready to take you from gentle stimulation all the way up to amazingly waves ecstasy. Needless
I
to
love
say,
I love this.
I
Best
know
gift
it's
ever.
just
This is
it's
amazing.
hysterical. Okay, well, I haven't given you the best bits yet. It gets better from here,
It
right?
gets
So
better than the top of
it gets
happiness.
it gets better, gets better.
It's 10 levels of Mary. I mean, come on.
So anyway, I hand her the brochure and she starts to read it, and then the penny drops, and you see her all of a sudden go, "Oh, oh, oh!" I'm like, I knew you didn't know what it was, and I'm still like, I've lost the plot. I cannot. I'm nearly crying with laughter because it's just. So then I'm like, okay, now how did this happen? How did you? And then it starts to click. I don't know if you guys in the US had the same thing. I imagine you do, but over here, our lovely retiree ages and over love these lifestyle magazines where you can buy all of these things from magazines, all sorts of different stuff, right? Well, she saw this in a magazine and it was called Personal Massager. And so she thinks, ah, Sherry might need this. She's got a sore neck. I think that might actually help her.
Mm.
Now, here's the other thing. Auntie Bev doesn't get online to order it. She makes a phone call
Oh,
to the
heck
magazine.
yeah.
Yes. She makes a phone call to the magazine. I want to order this. And then because it's Auntie Bev, she gives the whole story. It's for my niece. She's got a sore neck. She didn't get to celebrate Christmas. This is really just what she needs. I don't know what the other person on the other end of the phone is thinking about this, right? But she's just explaining the whole thing, and I'm piecing this together. I'm like, you made a phone call, didn't you? And she went, yes. And then I said, and you gave the whole story and told them everything, didn't you? She said, yes. And then I said, this is her. Then I said to them, I've had a bit of a sore neck too. So let's get two.
So she's got one of these too.
You can double
Yes.
fist. It's fine. It's all good.
What was she doing with it?
I'm like, how is this going to help my neck? What does that do? Is that tickling my ear? Like, I don't understand. But anyway, so this has become the big joke. I have told her this is going in her eulogy because everybody needs to know this story because it's just the best. But I have a few addendums.
Oh,
Earlier
do
this year,
tell.
earlier this year, um, Auntie Bev and I were just having a chat talking about married life, and she was telling me about Uncle Ray, who has been deceased for 14 years now, and Auntie Bev was sharing with me what their sex life was like and how much she missed it. And I'm like, well, you've got something you could use. Is it still sitting in the box? And she was like, oh, yes, I haven't used that, have I? Anyway,
I don't know, have
conversation
you?
ends. No, she hasn't. She hasn't used it. Well, we say goodnight. I go downstairs. 30 minutes later, I get a text message going, oh, what have I been missing out on all this time?
I love
She's
this so
80.
much.
She's 84. She's 84. I know.
I
Amazing.
mean, I'm
I
glad it
know.
finally happened.
Oh, look.
Yeah,
So,
And here's
better
another
late than
little
never.
here's another little nugget from my darling Auntie Bev. A few months later, actually after I came back from Virginia after the fall excursion, I might have been gifted a toy or two, and I showed her, and she's like, now, Sherry, you need to make sure you keep them charged because it's very disappointing when they're not fully charged.
Amazing.
Honestly, the gift that keeps giving.
Yup.
I love her so much more now. That's amazing.
This is
Like she's an
incredible.
amazing person. Like she really is. I loved her to death. But my goodness.
Yeah, we got
And
all
that's
of us,
incredible.
Gail and I and Phil. We all got to meet Eddie Bev, and they broke the mold after her. She was amazing. Yeah, just amazing.
this is
yep.
incredible. I feel like I want to meet her now too and get on her Christmas giving list.
Yeah.
Oh, and just to
I'm already looking
reassure
at
everyone,
flights. Seafood Christmas in Australia next year. Like, this is happening. Oh yeah,
Yes.
Just to reassure everyone, I had her consent to share this story. I told her that
that's
I
good.
wanted to bring this and I wanted to make sure she was okay. In fact, she came down halfway through and just sort of disappeared into my lounge room.
Amazing. Well, wave her over and have her come say hi later if she pops in again.
I'll ask her. Yeah, okay, I will.
Yes. Okay, I'm ready for it. All right, that is amazing. Best Christmas story ever. Okay, moving on. We're getting close to the end of our party here, but we do have a few more people to hear from still. Um, I want to bring on the lovely Glinda Jordan next. I love your holiday decorations in the background, and I
Thank
believe
you.
you just made those, did you not?
Okay, I didn't make these. These are this. It's not that you couldn't, but the amount of paper cutting. First of all, I think it's bullshit that I have to follow Sherry's story because I nothing can top that. That was the most amazing thing ever. I was
Yeah,
cry
there's
laughing.
10 levels of topping. You can't get there.
Oh, oh, Auntie Bev. These are just some. I won these from an auction house, and they're little LED snowflake lanterns, and I'm obsessed, and they're beautiful. And I am unlike Shanna. I am a maximalist, and I love to fill my habitat with enrichment in the form of excessive decor. So,
I
um,
love that. And we love your aesthetic.
That is fun.
And
speaking of the
speaking of
aesthetics, I
aesthetic,
have
yes, tell us
my
about your
Oh,
sweater.
bring
ugly
it.
Christmas sweater. Okay, so normally I pin this in the back with a safety pin and make it a tunic because I got this at a thrift store and I want to say it's a 4X. My personal corporeal form is not a 4X, so I usually pin this and I think it makes a really cute little tunic. But this is my hot take about ugly Christmas sweaters because these became a trend, right? Of like, oh, ugly Christmas sweater party. And then if you go into any store now, you will find made ugly Christmas sweaters. And I can't stand that because the point of an ugly Christmas sweater is that they were made in earnest to be festive. They weren't made
Right.
with the intention of being ugly. They just happen to be so gaudy and overwhelming with stuff. Like this has got like a bunch of sequin baubles and ornaments and they're peeling off and I need to sew this back on. But it's got like glass seed beads and stuff and I love that. And they have to be made like with the intention of being pure for it to be truly an that is my hipster take that that's to be an ugly Christmas sweater. You can't get something that was made to be ugly. So this is vintage, probably from like 1995, something like that. And this is my ugly Christmas sweater, and that's my that's my hot
That's
take
fantastic.
rant.
I love it. I love that sweater and I love that take on it. It should be accidentally ugly. Totally agree.
Right,
Mhm.
that's in the spirit in which it was because they weren't made to be. They were made to like, oh, this is festive.
I love
If
it.
you jump, like if you jump, you could like flare it out like a flying squirrel. It could work.
Ooh.
That could totally work. Yeah.
Okay, well, I live in the desert and it's hot, so
Yeah.
I'm not wearing this anymore.
Fine. You are not required to wear a sweater at any given time during
No,
the holidays.
no.
Again, you have our permission to wear whatever you want for the holidays.
It's okay with me if you take off your sweater, Glenda. Just so you know, I know everyone was waiting for my
Yeah.
permission, but you have it now.
Thank you,
Well,
Rachel.
I have
You're
my
welcome.
space heater. I mean, first I live in the desert and it's not cold, but I have my space heater going in my studio, so it's really
It's
not
warm.
cold.
Oh my goodness. I see we may have a special guest joining us. Is Sherry, tell us this is your Aunt Bev. Oh my goodness.
Yes, it is. I might have to just share a bit of logistics here as I get her shuffled in. And I will put my headset onto her so that she can hear you and you can hear them. So you're looking at the camera here to say hello to everyone here, but I'll put my headset on you so you can hear them.
Hello, Sherry's Aunt Bev. Can you
Hi.
hear
Hello,
us?
everyone. Hello,
Hi,
how are
Auntie
you?
Bev.
Thank you for joining us for our holiday party. We are so excited to meet you because Sherry just told us the Christmas gift
Oh,
story.
oh yes, that's wonderful. She couldn't tell it. Oh, I tell you what, but it does work.
That's
And that's what's important.
I thought it was wonderful for her neck. I thought it was terrific. It was the wrong end.
really
Amazing.
loosen things up. It's all good.
Right. Right. And I love that you got one, for yourself as well. Just,
Oh, yes,
just in
I know.
case.
Oh, I wondered why she laughed so much. I mean, honestly, I felt so embarrassed when she told me that I thought, oh, bugger, that's all right. I'll use it.
So at what point in reading the instructions or the description of this did you realize
I
what had
didn't look.
happened?
I didn't look. I just thought, oh, this looks good. It'll be all right for a neck. It was only so small. Didn't know what the other thing was.
Incredible. I love that you just went with it after you found out, well, all right,
That's
we
it.
got that instead. Sounds good.
She was. She said, "Did you actually ring or did you order it?" And I said, "No, I spoke to the people." That's when she nearly fell off the chair.
That is amazing.
Daryl,
And
what are you laughing at?
at no point in the ordering process did you get any indication that this was something was off. The person
No,
you were
I
talking to didn't say anything.
no. They just wanted to sell.
I love it. I
It
love it. I
was
mean,
under
that's
the
fair.
Christmas tree. Oh, but anyway, she asked, "It's okay. It's fine. It was worth the money."
Absolutely. We've all decided you're invited to all of our holiday parties
Yeah.
going
Mhm.
forward.
Yep. Honorary guest
Oh, look,
every
it's
time.
so lovely. It's so lovely to see all you. I'm very happy. Sherry's doing a great job, and you all are, and very proud of the lot of you. So I do hope you have a happy, healthy 2025, and
Well,
look
thank
after everybody.
you. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
You
you.
Thank
as
you, Auntie
well.
Bev.
Auntie Bev,
Bye
it's so good
bye.
to see
Joining
you.
Bye.
You
Bye.
are the official auntie of all of RfR. So there you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that Auntie, yes, that's right. They say Auntie Bev here in the States in Pittsburgh, and I don't say auntie, I just say auntie. That's fine. I'm American now, so okay. Bye.
Excellent.
Bye. Here's
RfR
Sherry.
anti-Bev.
Yep.
It's
Okay.
official.
Bye bye. Bye.
Thank you for joining us. Oh my goodness.
She just saw that I had the prop there.
Sherry, your aunt is a national treasure.
I know. I know.
No, no, she's an international treasure.
An
Yeah, it's true. It's
international
true.
treasure.
It is
Yes.
international.
I love that.
Absolutely.
Best holiday story ever.
I know,
And
right?
now, yeah, and just like all good holiday parties, a couple more of our friends have dropped in to say hi, and I want to bring them on for a second too. Eric and Emily, welcome. Uh, tell us who you are, what you do here, and what your holiday tradition or a story is.
Hey everyone, my name's Eric, and this is my sweetheart Emily, and I am the director of what's called the Program Services program at Recovering from Religion, and the reason why we call it that is because it's a team of web developers that create web apps that facilitate the volunteering process, and so we create services for the other programs at Recovering from Religion. And
Awesome.
yep, that's
You
that's
should
what
show
I
them
do.
your sweater.
Oh,
Yeah.
and we
Oh,
have pretty Christmas
You have to
sweaters.
stand up, I think.
you have pretty Christmas sweaters. I love it.
It says
And
January 15th because sloths are slow, and then mine have pandas on them. So
Oh my goodness, I
that's
love that
mine.
so much. Those are
and
adorable.
I love these.
I'm here for the sloth.
didn't you have this sweater at high school?
Yeah, and I got in trouble because, well, the pandas have bottles, and I got in trouble because it looks like alcohol bottles.
Wow,
A
they
fun
are
fact,
Drunk
strict.
pandas.
they made me turn it inside out. So,
So pandas are bad influences.
The
That's
pandas are just having an
amazing.
extra good time.
But now I can laugh about it. And I'm Emily, by the way, and then I help co-direct the ambassador program with Steve and Anthony. They're not here today, but they help me with that. And then I mail out the ambassador supplies. I actually just mailed it out to his sister's house because we're moving out to Utah. So we're gonna go pick up that big box soon. So that'll be pretty fun.
Well,
Yeah. And then yeah, I already
congrats on
said that's
that.
my panda sweater. And then what's your favorite Christmas tradition?
Well,
Or your secular Christmas tradition?
speaking of mailing things out, we also shipped our Yule tree, and something that Emily and I have discovered a couple of years ago is that before Christmas was called Christmas, it was a holiday called Yule prior to Christian colonization. And while there were some supernatural and theistic components of the holiday, I find it to be a lot more meaningful to me because the thing about Yule is that it celebrates the return of light after the winter solstice. It's a celebration of lighter and warmer days coming back. And that, of course, is much more meaningful and relatable to the human experience than the birth of a savior that was saving us from himself. And so we've been reclaiming a lot of holiday traditions under that basis. And we have our Yule tree with lights on it to replace the sunlight that is lacking during this time of year. And also, one of the old Norse traditions was creating a pastry called a Yule log.
Well, it was an actual log. I think the
Well, there
pastry
was
is
an
more
actual
today.
log. There was a big
Yeah.
log that they burned as part of a bonfire, which is really cool. We didn't do that because I don't own a chainsaw and I don't think it's legal to cut down trees in a city. But we tried to make the pastry and we didn't get past the first step.
It fell apart when we tried to roll it, and then so we made cake pops instead out of it. But it was still a fun try, and we will definitely try again next year, and we will roll it better. The trick is you have to put like parchment paper underneath and then roll it with the paper. We didn't do that. We just like flopped it out, and then we tried to roll it, and it fell
crumbled.
apart.
And so our first goal failed, so we just shifted the goalpost.
Yeah.
It
So
works.
it was still a very fun Yule though, and we also listened to Yule music, which it sounds very medieval and it's really great.
Celtic,
So,
like
yeah,
it's really pretty.
yeah.
Little
It
Enya.
reminds me a little bit of Dungeons and Dragons too, which Eric loves. So,
Excellent choice. Excellent choice. Well, and I'm glad somebody finally brought up baking something because I don't think we can get through a holiday tradition show without talking about baking. So thank you
Mhm.
for attempting to bake something. That's how my baking usually goes too. Sometimes I make cinnamon roll esque things that have cinnamon in them and they taste good. And you know what? It doesn't matter if they didn't come out like the picture.
Awesome.
It's fine.
And Kara, we're Barb and I are looking forward to having Eric and Emily at our place next week. If the weather's not too
Oh,
bad, Eric, we're gonna fulfill your Yule log dream because we're gonna have a bonfire. We have a
Oh, an
big place,
actual Yule log. Unless
actual
we're burning a bunch of
bonfire.
cakes.
ooh.
Absolutely, but as long as the weather's not too bad. But do bring a lot of coats and warm stuff because we could stand out by the fire and burn the bonfire with a Yule log.
That sounds
Ooh,
Anyway,
amazing.
I'm
yep.
that's
super excited about
exciting.
Oasis too, because we went to the Salt Lake Oasis before, but I'm excited about Kansas City because that's like the original Oasis. So,
No, no, Kansas City's the second one,
oh,
but
second one.
we're the biggest one
Yeah.
and we have our own building. Nobody else has their own building. So yeah, Houston would beat us by 1 year.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
Houston was
still
number
pretty
one.
excited.
Yeah, I hope to get to see the building you all bought.
Yep. Well, you'll get to see it.
Excellent. Well, I want to come out and visit with y'all too when you're here. So let me know when
Oh
you're in
yeah.
town.
So here's the deal, Carol. Why don't you and Lindsay and anybody else you want Saturday night, this a week from tonight is when it will be. We'll be burning the if the weather's fine. If the weather's not, we'll come inside. And I've also invited some of the local Satanic Grotto people.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. It's going to be a multi non-faith holiday event.
There you go.
I love it. Well, that is a great note, I think, for us to wrap up on is some excitement about having some community, which is what we're here for. And I am so appreciative of all of y'all joining us for our first annual holiday party. So thank you for coming. And before we wrap up, I believe we have promised the viewers some answers to the trivia questions from the beginning of the show. Gail, now the $1 million question is, do you remember the questions?
Yes. Okay.
Rachel's giving us a hint about the first
Yes.
one.
The first one was how many ghosts show up in A Christmas Carol? And some people may have said three because it's Christmas past, Christmas present, Christmas future. But Rachel was absolutely right. Before any of those showed up, we had Marley because Marley appeared in the door knocker. Do you remember that? So we're going to call
Yeah.
that answer four. Did,
Yeah.
and
He
whoever
has a
wants to,
whole scene. Like he does a
yes,
whole thing with the chains and the
yes.
moaning and the mankind was my business. Like there's a whole thing.
Yeah, so if you got that one right, give yourself a pat on the back and 1 point. Next, we ask the question about the Miracle on 34th Street, whether the old version or the new version was based on a real life department store. What store is that? Do we know? Anybody
It was
know?
the
I
Macy's.
saw
Macy's.
Macy's in the chat.
Macy's. If you guessed
It's
Macy's, you
Macy's.
get a point for
Yeah.
that one. Let's see. What's another one that we asked? Oh, we asked in Home Alone when the family leaves to go on vacation and leaves Kevin behind, where are they going? Who guessed what? I can't quite, where our lag is a little bit where I can't quite see your answer. So you just put it in the chat if you think you have it. And the answer to that one is Paris. The
Paris.
family was
Yep.
going to Paris and they
I
took a
thought it
couple
was
of
Europe.
friends
But I
to the
couldn't remember.
airport and they left Kevin behind. That's the whole gist of the story. I know we asked that one. Oh, here's the conjugation of the three-word descriptor for the Grinch. Would anybody on the panel like to unmute their microphone and give us the answer to that one?
I
Does any-
saw the answer in the chat, so I won't
Ah,
attempt it.
someone got it right
I think my
then.
husband said it, but I don't know if I put it in the chat.
Stink, stink,
It's
stink.
he says it's stink, stank,
Stink,
stunk. Is
stank,
that
Hmm.
it?
yes,
Yep.
that's the answer to that one. Stink, stank, stunk. So if you got that one, you get points.
Can I take a moment to interject something inappropriate about
Yes,
the
totally inappropriate.
the
Yes.
Whoville Christmas implies that there was some sort of Seussian crucifixion, and I'll just leave it at that. If there
Yikes.
was if there was a baby Jesus in the Dr. Seuss universe, then there definitely was a crucifixion. So just
In the cartoon one?
I'm just saying it implies the existence of a Seussian crucifixion.
Yikes. Okay, good to
Huh.
know. Good to
What if
know.
it's a what if episode and that Jesus child never had to be?
Wait,
So the Whoville is actually better than our own world.
wait. So
Could
David, are
be.
you saying that because they have Christmas, therefore they must have had a crucifixion? Otherwise,
Yeah,
there would be no reason to have a Christmas.
it only seems to
Okay, that
follow.
makes sense. I guess. Sure.
Okay. Okay. I believe one of the trivia questions was the name of Ebenezer Scrooge's partner. Did we have that one? That's a pretty easy one. Most everybody remembers that one. Do you remember that was Marley? Jacob Marley. There he is, Jacob Marley.
Yay! We got a
And we
lot of help from Rachel's figurine.
we also asked the question of Ebenezer Scrooge's clerk, who, of course, is one of the main characters. It is the father of Tiny Tim, and his name was. Anybody remember?
Oh,
It
wasn't
was
it
Bob
Cratchit?
Cratchit.
It was
Cratchit.
Bob
Cratchit, Bob
Cratchit.
Cratchit.
Bob
Cratchit.
Cratchit.
I
By
thought
the
it was
way,
Bob Marley, and then I realized, no, that's not quite right.
it was Jacob Marley. By the way, fun fact: I have played Bob Cratchit's wife, Mrs. Cratchit, 3 times, and
Oh,
she does
Wonderful.
not have a name. Dickens does not give her a name. She's just
Okay,
Of
Mrs.
course not.
Cratchit.
she's
Yeah.
just
Of
Mrs.
course not.
Cratchit. Okay, one of the questions we asked was in the movie Elf. What is the first rule in the Code of Elves? And if you're in the room with me and you'd like to unmute and guess, you can do that. Does anybody know the answer to that one?
I surely do not.
Treat every day like Christmas.
Oh.
That's one of the first rules. That's the first rule in the Code of Elves. Treat every day like Christmas. Let's see. I think we asked in the song, the Christmas song, which Johnny Mathis sang, that's the chestnuts roasting, who had their eyes all aglow?
I thought it
Children.
The
The children,
children.
but what is the song called?
Oh, it's Tiny
Tiny
Tots. It's
tots.
Tiny Tots.
Tots.
But you know
Oh,
what, Gail?
right.
We missed one because I
Oh,
had that you asked about the song "The 12 Days of
oh, that's
Christmas."
right. That's right. And I asked on what was the day 8 gift?
8.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maids of
And
Lords
Milk.
what
of
was
it
the
was
Weeping.
Maids and Milking,
Oh,
wasn't
Maids
it?
of
Maids of
Milk.
milking. I
yeah,
got
made the
that.
milking.
Yeah.
That's
I
good.
just,
I
I
Made
know
the
just,
Phil
milking.
got
we
that.
just did this.
Yeah.
100%.
That's right. And I think the last one was the total. I got to cheat because I got to look at the math. The total number of gifts in the 12 Days of Christmas song. Who knows that one? Or
So,
what math did you come
I
up
tell you,
with?
I thought David put a guess in the chat.
What'd you
It's just
put there?
42, but that's the answer to everything.
No.
So it's
Oh,
totally right. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I would
Anybody?
accept that answer. Like,
Yes, I'll allow it.
Is
Does
it
anybody have
344?
how much?
Is it 344?
The answer on the trivia site that I am on says 364, Emily. So
Oh,
it's
well,
12 plus
darn.
11 plus 10 plus 9 plus 8, the whole thing. And so I guess it equals out into 364. And that
It's more than
is
I
the
thought.
end of that.
I love that Emily actually tried. The rest of us are like, we don't care.
Yeah, yeah. You had me at maids milking.
I knew it was one day less than the days in a year, and at first I guess I thought there were 345 days instead of 365. I had a brain fart.
Is there a reason that that's why that 12 days of Christmas is because it's over the course of the year or something? Is that something? Or is it just coincidental that it's 364 instead of 365?
Well,
No
if you
idea.
treat every day like Christmas, then you
The
should do a
Code of
gift
Elves.
every
The
day.
Code of Elves.
Mhm.
Yeah. I love it. I don't know if that's the reason or not, but
I
I'm
don't know
going
that
forward with
either.
that. Well, that was so much fun. Thank you for doing our trivia game, Gail. I love
Sure.
trivia, and
I do too. I do
I'm
too.
I'm wondering if anybody in the chat wants to tell us if they think they might have won. Did anybody get all of the questions right? That would be a
Yeah.
pretty impressive feat. Let's see.
Somebody got 4.
All
So
right,
we'll call
4 is
them the
winning at
champion.
this point.
Yes.
You are
I got
winning with 4.
7. I got 7 out of 10.
Nice. I did not keep count at all, but I think
I
Rachel
got
beat me.
1.
You already won with Auntie Bev. Like you
Yeah,
no.
that's true.
You already won.
Sherry and Aunt Bev win Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. Well, y'all, this has been so much fun. I can't wait to do this again next year. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you everybody for joining us for our holiday party. We hope you'll come back next year for the next one, and we hope you'll join us for our other programming on this channel. We hope to have some more shows that we live stream like this. And as always, every Monday we still have our program RfRX, your prescription for coping, where you can see more content like this and speakers and hangouts. So please join us for that and follow us online. I'll drop the links to our socials. If you haven't followed us before, feel free to go ahead and start and share with anybody else that you think might benefit from any of the services that we mentioned. And with that, please, everyone, take care and whatever holiday phrase that you like to say, happy that. Merry Crisis, happy holidays. Yippee-ki-yay. We'll see you next year. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
And I think we're stopped.
So we'll be on this on Monday.
So